Welcome to psychometric.com. Today we will look at aptitude tests for Halliburton. What do the aptitude tests for Halliburton consist of? These tests usually include logical reasoning tests, verbal reasoning tests, and numerical reasoning tests. They also often include situational judgment tests. You have tests like this in our course, but we won't be seeing them in this video. How to pass these aptitude tests, also known as cognitive tests. Now, of course, practicing before the test, because if you practice with similar tests, you'll have a great advantage over your competitors. It's not the same to face this type of exercise for the first time as it is to approach it knowing how they work and having solved more of them previously. Of course, learning, as I always say, tricks and tips to solve them more efficiently and make fewer mistakes. You can see all these tips and tricks in our course. Time is a crucial factor in this type of test because, as I often say, the important thing here is to solve each exercise quickly. Now let's solve 10 example exercises so you get an idea of what these tests are like. Before we start looking at the example exercises, remember, in case you didn't know, that Halliburton is a multinational service and technology company for the energy sector, with a highly technical profile and job openings that cover operations, manufacturing, science, engineering, and technology. When it comes to hiring staff for these types of positions, they use aptitude tests in their selection process to filter candidates more objectively, compare them on a large scale, and measure skills such as logical reasoning, attention, problem solving, and adaptation to technical and operational environments where performance and safety are very important. So knowing this, let's look at 10 example exercises. Choose the correct answer. This exercise is truly remarkably simple, as we can clearly observe that the black portion remains completely stationary in its original spot, while the stripe section then proceeds to move 90 degrees in a counterclockwise direction, that is to say, precisely in this manner. So, the next figure must go here, in the middle circle, making option A the correct answer. Now on to exercise number 2, select the correct answer. I haven't mentioned it before, but if you wish, you can pause the video and try to solve it yourselves before seeing the correct answer. In this exercise, we see there are 2 lines tangent to this circle. Next we have 2 other tangent lines with the inner circle, but in this case on the left side. Now we have 2 other tangent lines, right now on the right side, so now there will be 2 other tangent lines that would go here and here. So the correct answer would be option B. Let's move on to exercise number 3. You need to select the correct answer, so in this particular case, we need to figure out which shape would come next after these 4, and then we also need to determine what movements the circle, the triangle, and the square are making. In this particular instance, it appears quite clear that the square is moving up and down in a vertical fashion, which means the square should be positioned in this lower section. The triangle, on the other hand, seems to be rotating in this manner, and that's why it's not visible here, because the square is completely covering it. So, the triangle would have to go on top, so we can already rule out option B and option C. And now we need to know where the circle goes. The circle we see appears here, disappears here, reappears in the same place, disappears again. Well, everything points to it reappearing here again, since it appears and disappears alternately, so the correct answer would be option D. And let's move to exercise number 4, choose the correct answer. In this case, we need to know what the time will be after the ones indicated here. Here, obviously, we must know how an analog clock works. For many people, it will be very simple and obvious, but trust me when I say that many people who are 20 or even 25 years old today have never known an analog clock. They only know the time from their smartphone or a digital watch. So, we should start seeing what time each clock shows and see the logic they follow concerning the others. The first clock shows 1:40, the second clock shows 1:25, the third clock shows 1:10, the fourth clock shows 12:55. That is, we are watching how it goes down 15 minutes on each clock. So if this clock here shows 5 to 1 or 12:55, the clock would now be 12:40, and among the response options, 12:40 would be option D. Let's move on to exercise number 5. Mentally rotate the figures and identify which of them is exactly the same as the example figure. That is to say, we have to rotate these figures in any way possible to be able to see if it is truly equal to the example figure. Here, for example, we can clearly see how this point would end up here, so this one would already be discarded. This one, it's the same. The peak would be on this side, also discarded. And this one, however, if we turn it like this, we see how this peak remains here. Therefore, the correct answer would be option C. It's an exercise that is very easy for many people, but for others it seems not, because they find it quite complicated, as it requires a mental shift. But let's go. They just need to practice more, and it gets solved very quickly. Let's move on to exercise number 6. Here we must know that the opposite faces in the unfolded cube can never touch each other inside the folded cube. All these cube tips and tricks are explained in more depth in our course, but even so, we are going to see them here quickly. What does this mean? That this face and this face can never touch each other inside a folded cube. That is, if we see this line and this line together, for example in this case where this one touches this one, it could never happen. So we can already discard option B and look for another, but we don't find it. Also, if this face and this face, which are opposite in the unfolded cube, were to touch in a folded cube, it would be impossible for that cube to form, because if we look for a diagonal line with an X, we won't find it. And also, if we find this face with this face in the folded cube, it would also be discardable. This one might work, this one won't. We see that the cross and this figure touch, so option C can be discarded and option D as well. So the exercise would already be solved. The correct answer would be option A. We can see it more visually here. We see how these two faces correspond to these two faces, and this face with the X corresponds to this face. It's a pretty easy cube to assemble. Let's move on to exercise number 7. Which option corresponds to the unfolded cube? As I've mentioned previously, we'll have to go through and check if we can eliminate any of the options. For example, this one with stripes next to this white face. We are searching and we cannot rule out any option. This central line along with this face, we continue searching and we can discard. We couldn't do it entirely either because we have this part here and this face here. So in this exercise it would be quite complicated. You have seen how in the previous one it was very helpful, but in this case where faces are repeated, it becomes complicated and it's not as easy to do it this way. Here option B would be impossible because if we join this face with this one, it should be this white part. In one case it could be this face with the line, so option B is dismissed. This face right here couldn't be the one either, because for its lines to be pointing in a different direction, as we can clearly see them here, then that just wouldn't be possible because this face would then end up down here. And if we get straight to the point, we see that the correct option would be option A. And you can see it more clearly here, that is to say the unfolded cube. To see it more clearly, you would have to rotate it like this, straighten it so you can see that this face corresponds to this face corresponds to this one, and this face corresponds to this one. Keep in mind that each turn to here corresponds to a 90-degree turn of this face. That is, here it would go like this, and here it would go here. If you want to know these tricks and tips in more depth, I advise you to sign up for the course where there is a section where we see this in more depth. Well, the correct answer would be option A. We move on to exercise number 8. A person walks 2 kilometers every 3 hours. If he needs to cover 18 kilometers, how much time will it take him? This problem would be solved using a typical rule of 3. If he covers 2 kilometers in 3 hours, then for 18 kilometers, it's X. We would multiply 18 by 3, which is 54, then divide by 2, giving us 27. The correct answer would be 27 hours. Let's move on to exercise number 9. Choose the word that is opposite in meaning to meticulous. A, precise, B, careless, C, cautious, D, detailed. Here, anyone with an average cultural level and a medium English level will be able to solve it easily. Simply, you just need to remember that it's the word opposite in meaning, not the synonym. So the correct answer would be careless. Meticulous means very careful, thorough, someone who pays close attention to details. Its antonym is careless, which means negligent. Let's move on to exercise number 10. What number continues the series? 2, 6, 15, 31, 56. At this point, if you'd like, you could pause the video and try to solve it on your own. Here we can see that the difference between this number and the next is 4, between this and the next is 9, here 16, and here 25. So we can clearly see there's a logical pattern. Everyone will recognize something about these numbers, 4, 9, 16, 25, which are nothing more than square numbers. This would be 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, and 5 squared. So here, obviously, it will be 6 squared. What that means is we need to add 56 and 36, and that equals 92. The correct answer would be option C, 92. And well, we've reached the end of these examples. You can find more aptitude or cognitive tests for Halliburton in our course. There you can download the tests in PDF, or if you prefer, take the tests online. You have the link to the course in the video description. As I always say, I hope this has helped you, and we look forward to seeing you in the course. All the best.